Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues and friends, and welcome to Rome again. First thing I want to say is that it's fantastic to see you all back in at present market conditions, no casualties as far as I know, so that makes me very happy and optimistic. And I have to say, when preparing this speech, I thought about what was the purpose of the speech, and I thought that the best thing probably and the priority in current times was to try to inject a little bit of optimism in the audience. And I even want to try to make you addict to optimism, because I think that's something that is going to help us a lot in this market. And the first time I want to start is with a definition of optimism, because optimism is not being silly, billy, happy flowers. This is just being stupid. And I like the definition of optimism that a very well recognized neurologist, Dr. Ellen Fox, is giving. And she says that optimism is based in 3 points. The first one is you have to be realistic. You have to accept life. You have to accept business as it comes. Facts are facts. You cannot change them. But number 2 is that once you see and you accept facts, you have to be 100% confident and sure that with perseverance and persistence, you will reach the goal that you're working for. 100% confident. And number 3, most important, is that you have to have an unbreakable faith. You have to have a very strong belief that when things go wrong, you'll be able to cope with them. So this is I think this is clearly the right mindset, and I think that it's critical to have it in this current times, in present market. And just again, number 1 is be realistic. Number 2, be 100% confident you will reach the goal. And number 3, have the strong belief that you will cope with the difficulties. And just to finish with this, it's statistically proved that optimism works and that optimism is contagious. It's proof that good things almost always happen to optimistic people, and bad things happen to pessimistic people. This is proved. So guys, I mean, don't even wait 10 seconds and come to the side of the optimist people. Okay, we are in Rome. Rome is a fantastic city with almost 2,800 years of history. And during all these times, it's been one of the most cosmopolitan cities in the world, and has been one of the most influential cities of the world. Probably you all have been around the city, and probably you've been experiencing the stunning architectural show that, as the Roman people like to say, is built on history, love, and marble. I think that is a perfect place to find strength and inspiration. Okay, let's finish with the philosophic part of the speech, and now let's go on what is the real world. What is happening in the world economy these days? Well, these days we have been suffering large movements in relative price, what they call volatility, whether in exchange rates, in raw materials, price of oil, and all that is creating losers and winners. Talking about oil price, and if you go to the history, to historical data, you will see that a low oil price always boosts global economy. So that's been happening all the time. And there's a simple explanation that economists will give you for that, is that when money goes in the pocket, money that consumers save and goes in his pocket, move much quicker than if it stays in the pocket of the governments of oil-producing countries. There's a well-recognized economist that says, if you want to understand the world economy, forget about the stock market and focus on the point that cheap oil always boosts global growth. So low price of oil globally is good. But as we said, these changes are creating winners and losers. On the loser side, we see some emerging economies that are seeing slowdown, some severe, like in Russia or Brazil, and also that is significant because Russia and Brazil, obviously, they are very big players, very important countries and markets in the world. On the other hand, advanced economies, they are experiencing an acceleration of its growth. Just recently, last week, there were released some indicators in the United States. Consumer confidence came up with a number of 103 against a forecast of 96.1. So this is remarkable. And in Europe, business confidence, sentiment came with a reading of 105.6. And this is the highest since August 2011. So that means that in Europe, business basically has overcome all the fears in euro, financing, Greece, all these kind of things. Another actor that is today in all the economic news is China, because of its economy is slowing down, but it's still growing at a very considerable high 6%. In China, economy is changing from being investment-led to a more, we believe, a more robust and consistent economy based on domestic consumption. But anyway, Chinese economy is already the world largest in purchasing power, and with this fact in mind, and thinking that the economy is growing at a pace of 6%, and beyond the storm clouds that we got today and the turbulences that we got today, there are still good reasons to think that business has a bright future in China. If we move to what is happening in the world of steel, and especially in long products, I will go direct to the main headaches and challenges that we have today as business, as industry, and as individuals. The first one is overcapacity, especially, but not only, in China. I think it's about 10 days that I read the last CISA report, and it was mentioned there in this report that the steel exports from China in the period January-August 2015 went up to 77.3 million tons. This is 26% higher compared with 2014. And if we take that rough figure that 25% of that is rebars, that means that 2.5 million tons of rebars are exported every month from China. On the same report, there are comments that can be considered positive for the health of the market, and are that in the next few months, we may see a decline in export from China, because some private mills are starting to show very poor financial performance. This is said in the report. Maybe this is a cycle turning around. I mean, don't forget that we are living we are working and we are sitting in a cyclical business, and the cycles exist globally in Europe, America, China, everywhere. So that could be the turn of the cycle, maybe, we'll see. The second headache, the second big headache is a deflationary process. Well, following raw materials and commodities and oil, steel products are following an intense deflationary process, prices going down consistently. Just as a reference, on the last 12 months, rebars has gone down from $570 to $350 FOB price. This is not the end of the world, but it's not easy to manage. It creates trouble in trading, in stock managing, and it's not easy. The good news is that we are closer to the bottom, and I'm not joking, and I really believe that we are close to the bottom. Okay, now as we are in Rome, I want to be for 2 seconds Russell Crowe in the film Gladiator, and I want to give you some inspiring words. Whatever comes out, we have a better chance of survival if we work together, he said. And that's, we believe, is that the main purpose of IREPAS meetings, is giving you the opportunity to share experiences, collect information, talk to your colleagues, and just make the most of the gathering. On that, I want to thank you, as always, SteelOrbis. Murat, thank you. All the team, thank you for organizing such a beautiful gathering. And I also want to say thank you to our first-class speakers to be here and allow us to share their knowledge and experiences. And now, I would suggest that you make the most of what you will have available these 2 days: sessions, committees, meeting with colleagues, meeting with customers, etc. Just make the most of it. And then you come back home with a good feeling that you will be able to cope when things go wrong. Thank you for your attention, and enjoy IREPAS and enjoy Rome. Thank you.